What's up, Matt from Urchfab. In this video I'm doing a comparison between aluminium Mig Welding and aluminium Tig Welding. Alright, so just wanting to have a play around with some aluminium Mig Welding really. It's not something I've done before, and got a machine that's capable of doing it. So I've got the Mig and the Tig ready to go. There's a couple of things you've got to do to the Mig welder to get it ready to run aluminium. So I've got a 2-meter torch, which you just use a shorter one because the wire is more, it's more flimsy, so it's more likely to get jammed up if you use a long torch, and then a Teflon liner to go in that torch, and then some aluminium Mig wire, 53-56 wire, and I use 53-56 filler for the Tig as well. You can feel how much softer it is, which is why it's more prone for getting jammed up. I've also got to change the rollers in here to an aluminium set. Alright, so I've got my wire fed through. It's recommended that you use slightly oversized tip. So I got 0.8 wire. I'm using a 1mm tip. I also backed off the tension on the rollers all the way back to 1, just to stop it squashing the wire. Now I'm going to hook that up to pure argon bottle and give it a whirl. Material, aluminium, gas, argon, wire, 0.8, it's program number 9. 2mm. Alright, so yeah, I learnt a few things there about this process. So I've managed to get something that looks sort of half decent on quite a few. Burnt through that one. I noticed I was getting some black soot along the bottom edge, so I tried turning the gas up. It might be because I'm running one of these little small end nozzles. I don't know that. I'm going to try a different one, see if that gets rid of that black soot. Another thing is obviously when you start off, the piece is cold, so the weld starts to bunch up at the beginning, and then once you get into it a bit, it'll sort of lay a bit flatter. Same with when you do a tack, you try and tack it, you get this big bulged up tack, so if you just give the corners a little blast with a matte gas torch, then the tacks go in nice and flat. So that worked pretty well. And then there's also a big difference between pushing and dragging. You definitely don't get seem to get a very good result trying to drag this. This is my Tig weld. I've done it, well, I've done using a foot pedal, 120 Hertz, 53, 56 wire or filler. And then these were the better of the Mig welds, 53, 56 Mig wire. And these were done on the synergic settings, and then just made some little adjustments with the trim setting. It definitely works pretty well. I had a few troubles with it jamming up in the nozzle a couple of times. It might be down to stuff with the way I've got set it. Just first time I've done it, so I don't really know. But I just wanted to have a go and see how it worked out. To be honest, I usually find that you will get better results if you play around with the manual settings rather than going with the synergic stuff, but for straight out of the machine, that's not bad at all. That's also got a pulse MIG setting. So could have done a pulse MIG one, but I've run out of little bits of alley now, so I have to save that for another video. You're never going to get the look of a aluminium TIG weld doing it with MIG, I don't think. You could get it to look pretty good, but if you're buying one thinking you're going to be able to do intercooler piping and you know, get the look of all the sort of stuff you see posted up on Instagram, you're not going to get that with aluminium MIG. It's definitely got its purposes. It's obviously a lot quicker. It's a lot easier with MIG. You just got one hand, so you can, you know, tacking stuff up's easier. To be honest, probably not something that I'm going to use much, but it's nice to know that if ever I am needing to go and do a quick repair somewhere, then I can just take one machine and pretty much do the lot with it. So I've got a few tips. This isn't a how-to video. I don't, you know, this is my first time doing it, but from just having that little play around, I have got a few tips which I think will probably help you if you're first trying it out. First one is the torch. If you're not using a spool gun, you need to keep the lead of the torch like as level as possible. So I had it literally like laid out on my whole bench on a nice rounded curve. That seemed to stop it jamming up quite good. And then I noticed one of the welds that I tried to do a drag technique, looked really sooty all the way through the weld. So I would say you're going to want to be pushing all the time. Alright, so yeah, I wish I'd had that for jobs that I've done in the past, but for the sort of work I'm doing now, can't really see me ever using it much, but thought it would be interesting anyway, and just something I wanted to have a go at. So yeah, that's it for this one. Cheers for watching. See ya.